It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this half-ass hood. The statue of you might be good. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. Why? Why do I want new neighbors? Because of the next door. The dude will not maintain his lawn properly. I'm so sick of it. If he mows it once a summer, if he weed eats once a summer, he blows all over my driveway, blows all the shavings out into the road. I'm sick of it up to here. Wait. I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry. The review of the statue is right ahead. It's kind of small. That's what she said. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hi neighbor, thanks for joining us today. Before we get to this week's review, I was watching last week's review and I noticed that I had a couple issues. First of all, I was licking like a cow. I don't know what was up with that. And second of all, I kept saying this one thing over and over and over. And so I incorporated my friends at Sesame Street to help us with this little video. Phenomenal. 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 So boys and girls, today's word is phenomenal. We say that word a lot, but we're going to try to not say it in this review. So, moving on to this week's review, time to make some chimichanga. Alright, welcome back to HFR. After that 3-minute epic intro, I think I might have set a record there. Today we're unboxing the Kotobukiya Deadpool. It's a 6 scale from Kotobukiya. And anyway, unboxing it today and a brief review, and I hope you enjoy it. There's an embossed Deadpool logo. Very cool. It's raised. Embossed on the other side also, but thumbs up on the box. Looks cool. The base. Is back katanas. Is katana that's out of the sheath. And Deadpool himself. The statue itself is very solid feeling. It feels like a Sideshow Rexon piece. It's cold cast resin, so I assume it's made out of the same as the quarter scale pieces. And lastly is gun. Alright, first of all we have the base. Deadpool on there. See how he keys on. Okay, very nicely. The feet appear to sit flat. I'll look at that closer. Very nice. Little key there that goes into his back. And quite honestly, a key's right here under on the shoulder holster. Not a huge fan of the gun being there. I prefer it here, but small nitpick. And then his katana slides into the hands, and well, that's cool. It's got a magnet. You can actually feel it. If you try to rotate it, it readjusts to where it's correct. So you got to put it where it is. So very impressive. On to the review. First of all, a little background on Deadpool. He was created by Fabian Nicieza and Rob Liefeld in 1991. He first appeared in the New Mutants issue 98, I believe it was. And interestingly, he was originally a villain and later became an anti-hero. And he quickly became a fan favorite, and he's one of my favorites. I have the XM Deadpool, which you'll see here, on order, and it's set to come out in the first quarter of 2021, which translates to probably about 2023, I'm guessing. I'm being sarcastic there, I'm being mean. But XM tends to delay their statues. But I have disc space where he would fit perfectly to liven it up a little bit. Concept. If you look at this cover from 2018 by Nick Klein and Scott Hepburn, you'll see what I believe is the inspiration for this sculpt. You'll see the shin pads, pouches. Deadpool loves his pouches. Pouches. The belt emblem, the whiter, silver things on the side of his, where the red meets the black on his chest. Even the, everything about the sculpt. Even I noticed that on the one cover, the gun, which I said earlier that I didn't like, but the gun is actually on the holster under his arm. So accuracy there. For concept, while it's not super dynamic, but it's also not a museum pose, sometimes simple is great. It's just a matter of way you execute it. I love it. I like the serious style, especially to go with my XM version of the wackiness. I think they got what the artist, envisioned in the comics. I think they executed that well. I'm going to give it an 8 for concept. Moving on to construction, which is, how well did they build it? I like it. While the, parts are plastic on it, the sword and all, the holster, the gun, the body being, feels exceptionally solid. AA plus on the feel of that, the way everything, goes together smoothly. It fits solidly. You don't feel like anything's going to, you can wave around, you can move it around and nothing's coming off. So construction, I have to ding it just because of the plastic parts that I prefer to be resin, but I'm going to give construction a 9. Moving on to base paint, it's boring. It's well done, but it's boring. It's just rocks, just gray rocks. So, I can't be necessarily critical of it other than there's not a lot of shading to it. It's basically just gray. You see some hints of some highlights and all in it. And then, of course, the black, does help it separate it. So it's not just a flat color, but it's boring. So I'm giving the base a paint score of 7. Moving on to character paint, I was all ready to give this maybe even a 10 on the paint because it's really well done. There is a couple of places where they missed and got black where it shouldn't be or whatever, but that would have been really nitpicking. But was all ready to give it maybe even a 10, and this happened. Right here, the paint is coming off the knuckles. And all I'm doing is just brushing lightly like this, there was a spot, and I didn't know if it was like paint or a piece of styrofoam or what, but the more you brush it, the more the paint just comes off of the statue. Oh. Huge fail. Unacceptable. Thumbs down. So, because the paint doesn't stick, it's a feature you would like to have in a statue, that the paint stays on the statue. Just, I don't know, I'm kind of picky that way. I'm going to give the paint on it a 1. Now, after I return it and get another one, maybe I'll do an amended video and correct that, or, you know, here's a follow-up video. But for right now, paint gets a 1 on the character. So between the 7 paint on the base and the 10 that's really a 1 on this, we've got an overall paint score of 4. Moving on to sculpt for the base, very simplistic, boring, you might say. You know, well done for rocks, I guess, or broken up concrete, whatever it's supposed to be. I guess it's like tiles or sections of concrete that are broken up, but it's boring. They could have done something to add something to it. So the base sculpt gets a whopping score of 6. Character sculpt, very well done. You have texture in the outfit, the shin guards, the boots, the pouches, the katana's excellent, even though it's plastic. Head sculpt is fantastic. Just details everywhere for being 1/6 scale. Just really impressed with the sculpt of this character. Probably the highlight of it for me is how well they executed the sculpt on it. 10. So overall sculpt, 6 for the base, 10 for a phenomenally well done. Phenomenally. 6 for the base, 10 for the character. That gives us an overall score of 8. Shelf presence for this piece. How does it pop? What's the wow factor? I actually love it. Take away the paint that's going to get it returned, and maybe the next one will be good, but actually love the shelf presence to this. Would have liked to see a little something happen in the base just to make it interesting, something. But I'm going to give the presence of it, is your eye drawn to it, I'm going to give the presence a 9. So last thoughts, man, what a disappointment. I'm hoping to return it and get a replacement that the paint does not come off of, but I was ready to love this piece and probably display it, but it's getting returned. So out of a possible 50 score, this Deadpool gets a 38. So once again, thanks for tuning in to HFR. I hope you enjoyed the review, even though it's a little disappointing. I hope you enjoyed that intro, my craziness. And if you enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing, want to see more, please hit the like, subscribe, and that notification bell so you know whenever I post a new video. Trying to do them every Sunday afternoon or into Monday morning. Seems to be the way it works with my work schedule. So appreciate it. For now, I'm out, and this one's out. Won't you please? That'll be funny in the bloopers, yeah. The review of the statue is right ahead. It's rather small. The statue. We'll get to it in just one moment, but oh, there goes the licking thing. Soy boy.